Hey Critical Blasters, it's RJ Carter, author of The Destroyer Bully Pulpit and The Destroyer Continental Divide, also senior editor at criticalblast.com, which is where we're coming to you from now here in St. Louis, Missouri, and reporting on the news that broke yesterday from Bleeding Cool. Hat tip, Bleeding Cool, credit where credit's due, man, you broke the story. Tom King is off of Batman as of number 85. Now this is a landmark decision from DC because it had been promised that Tom King was going to have a 100 issue run. I do not have any insider information as to where King is going to go after this. I'm sure he's going to stay at DC in some capacity. I don't believe that he's been fired from the company. I think that's a little presumptuous. More that he's just been removed from the title he was on and is probably going to be moved to another one somewhere. Speaking for myself, I'm kind of gratified. I'm not a huge fan of a lot of King's writing. I was into Heroes in Crisis, and honestly, Heroes in Crisis is the first ever DC Crisis event that I bailed out on in the middle, and that includes Final Crisis and things like Millennium, which I stayed with when it came out. So that's saying a little bit of something. I was bored with it, and I believe that the characters were bored with it. As strange as that sounds, you can tell by Clayman's drawings that they're exquisitely anatomically drawn, but the eyes were just dead and they looked like they were mannequins posed in scenes to get the story across. There was also a sales dip in the Batman titles, which, while it wasn't catastrophic, was definitely putting the title lower than a character of Batman's media recognition should be at. So there should be something be done there to boost those sales, goose them up a little bit. And beyond that, the idea of a 100 issue run, in my opinion, is simply ludicrous. No one should be given a 100 issue run right off the get-go. I don't know what Tim King wrote before he got on Batman that merited such a lengthy contract. A 100 issue overarching story arc, even though it's made up of smaller stories, no one's going to follow that. That's way too much expectation. What we want is 22 pages with a conflict and a resolution, and have that done and move on to the next issue with something new. Maybe 2 issues if it's something huge. That's really where we need to get back to in the comics, get away from this serialized chapter releases of graphic novels. But 100 issues was certainly not merited, and when you lock yourself into something like that ahead of time, you end up with situations like we had with King and Batman, where you get lackluster results and you still do the math and figure out, hey, we got 20 more issues of this to go, and that's going to lead us into next year, and can we continue to burn those sales in the name of getting the story done? And ultimately, DC Comics is in the business of producing art, not in the art of producing art. So a business decision was made. Now, if you want to see, large issue runs, you look at things like John Byrne's Fantastic Four, Chris Claremont's X-Men, Wolfman and Perez's new Teen Titans, Walt Simonson on Thor. These guys get, if you get a 100 issue run of one of those guys, it's because they did 99 issues of great work before then. And they got 99 issues of great work before then because they did 50 issues of great work before then. And they did all that because they had one issue at the very beginning that was great and fans stuck with it. We did not have that with Batman. And I, for one, could not be more relieved to know that Batman is going to get a fresh start in 85. So in 86, I will start picking up Batman again. CriticalBlast.com. I'm RJ Carter.